Welcome back to the Tim Weichselbaum Show. This is episode 37, coming to you 37 weeks in a row. This podcast is about self-improvement, sobriety, and being a freaking comedian in the world of entertainment. I don't know if I'm not a comedian. I don't know, man. Calling yourself, I'm a comedian. That's what I am. I'm not afraid to Anyway, coming to you on July 3rd. So that's why you're hearing some explosions in the background. We got fireworks happening in the background, which I'm fine with. You know, I don't really partake in fireworks. I don't really care about I've seen them. They're boring. Who gives a crap about fireworks? Anyway, 37. I've been doing this 37 times. Last week, we had a guest. We had a very good guest last week named Jack. Jack Horner is how he likes to be called when he's doing comedian stuff. And we talked a lot about a lot of stuff. We had a lot of mutual understanding going on. And I didn't have much to add to what he was saying. He was going on and on about all his shit. And I was like, dude, I totally know what you mean. And it was fun, though. It was great. It was a long episode. This one, I don't know how long it's going to be, but I'm wearing headphones because we might have a guest. I did book a guest. Hopefully he figures out how to let himself in because this is a virtual type of thing that we're doing. He's going to be... Anyway, if you would like to be a guest on this podcast, please contact me, Tim Weichselbaum, on Instagram. That's pretty much the only way I would like to be contacted. I mean, I have an email address. Anyway, yes, I am looking for guests because, who wants to see me just ramble to myself to a camera for an hour? It's hollow. It's boring. I like to do little things of two people. When there's a guest, it gives you somebody to bounce. It's a conversation. It's not just somebody getting frustrated at themselves for not being able to speak simple sentences. And it just creates it lends itself to better content that could be spliced into clips. And then I could put it on, I could make shorts, like reels, TikToks, and get a lot more, engagement than if I just put out the whole freaking episode in one go. Nobody wants to sit through an hour long. You gotta split things up into bite-sized pieces. That's what I'm learning. I don't know. I can't entertain people for an hour straight. I respect anybody who listens to this, but it doesn't mean I expect people to... Anyway, Jesus Christ. So what do we got going on this week? Well, I don't know. I got a guest coming in a couple weeks to my house here in Texas. I still live in Texas, and I've never really had any people come over I've never had anybody really stay here as a guest. I got rooms. I got a couple extra rooms that I could convert into a guest quarter place for somebody. So my younger brother is coming from Chicago. Yes, he booked the plane ticket, and I was kind of nervous or anxious about it because I don't think he's gonna like it here. This place, you kind of have to be pretty well off to enjoy yourself in this freaking town. It's a pretty expensive town. They charge a lot for drinks even. It's who wants to pay $7 for one drink? I don't drink alcohol, but my little brother, I'm going to get him completely fucked up to make it more fun for him. I'm not going to pressure him to do anything he doesn't want to do, but I'm just kind of a little bit worried that he's going to come here, realize how bad of a host, this house, he's going to be this place, there's nothing here. You don't even have a couch. The guest room is empty at the moment. I have to buy everything. It's an empty room. I'm going to have to buy a bed an air mattress I'm probably just gonna get an air mattress. I'm not gonna buy a whole new bed just for him. You know, just something that's temporary because I'm not a guest haver type of person. So he's gonna be like, dude, this place sucks, man. How do you? This is your life? You just live in this vacuous house with the bare minimum, and you just don't have anything in your fridge and no decorations, and like, what do you do? So I don't know. I'm kind of worried but I talked to him and I told him, like, you know, this is going to be really bad. There's not going to be much to do. Are you okay with that? He was like, yeah, I don't have much going on here anyway. So and I was like, okay. So we're going to brainstorm for him. We're going to try to think of an idea for him to do as a career. But the more I think about that, like, we're not going to be able to think of something in one. He's only coming for like less than a week, so, and he's been kind of having, you know, it's been taking him a while to find a job that he wants to do because, you know, he's like a millennial Zoomer on the border, on the edge of those two things, and like he's in that he doesn't want to work he doesn't have like that push to like grind, whatever. I'm not gonna talk too much about him. Maybe I'll have him on this podcast and he'll talk about it himself. But it's just like people are, everybody is a creature of habit. If you do things repetitively with repetition, it's going to be easier to keep doing those things. It applies to bad habits. Oh shit. Okay, I think my guest just joined the, we're going to admit him. Okay, sorry, we're going to introduce our guests later on. If you could just...
wait, I need a minute.
Yeah, can you mute yourself? Thank you. He's interrupting my flow there. Sorry about that, folks. He's going to be introduced there in a little bit. And I'm just going to keep going with what I was talking about. Yeah, everybody is a creature of habit. And I'm trying to break... That applies to good habits and bad habits. Like if you go around jerking off every day, twice a day, it's going to be hard to just get used to not doing that all of a sudden. And that's just one example. If you're trying to become something, it doesn't happen overnight. You got to make it your habit to become something big. And, that's something we'll get into more later because I am trying to become something big in this world. And you can't just get high or do a bunch of cocaine one night and think of a brilliant idea and expect it to take off and actually happen and execute it. You might come up with a good idea on cocaine or anything, or on mushroom or something, on a drug, but to actually do it, that takes forming a habit. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to like convince somebody else to do that. It's easy to just sit around and consume shit all day, just watch TikTok, and like to be a producer of content. Now that is what I want to start doing. I'm starting to get the itch to be a content producer. This podcast is kind of that, but not really. This is just me. This is not really good. This is not what it's not addictive as TikTok. So anyway, we'll get more into that later. It's not what I want to talk. Let's be a little bit more pragmatic. Let's go in one topic at a time. Okay, so what is up in my life? What is going on in my boring 32-year-old old man, stable, young? I look like a fucking vampire, dude. But anyway, so the point is that I'm trying to get at with my younger brother coming into town is I got to get more furniture so that he is a little bit more comfortable in this place. So I'm picking out a couch. And this is an excruciating process because I'm not a chick and I don't know how to pick out, like I know what I like, but there's so many variations on couches and colors and like, I don't know what color I want. I have some idea, but it's taking me hours to come up with the type of couch I want. I think I might want a sectional. Anyway, it's just like quite a thing that takes time. And I don't know, man. It's why I haven't done it. Like, people have been telling me, like, yo, you should get a couch. It's like, oh, yeah. Yep, most people have those if they have a house. But I don't know, man. So I've been putting that off for about a year. It's been a year, no couch. And you don't want to spend too little or I want to spend I don't want it to be like a cheap thing, and I don't want to spend like $5,000 on it, because some things you do want to spend a little bit of money on more than others, like appliances. It depends on if you're using them, but like for my refrigerator, I spent like $2,000 on the fridge. That day, I should have spent more. I should have spent like $3,000 to $4,000, because that type of thing you use every day. I wanted, so that's one thing I learned in the process of buying things, is I should have spent more on the fridge. The couch, I'll spend up, maybe about $2,000 at the most. Anyway, why am I talking about spending money? Well, I am back into the having money part of my. So something the only thing that really happened in the past week that is relevant to this podcast, is that I got rid of my car. I got rid of this stupid freaking Tesla. The Model S Plaid, the supercar. I talked about it a lot on this podcast because it kind of became like a lot of like this thing. It was my life, having this supercar, this super fast car. I thought I would die in it, like for sure. I was like, well, this is definitely the coffin. This is definitely like the last thing I'm going to see alive, is the interior of this car. Because I just knew. It's the danger. It accelerates so quickly that one false move and you're dead. So it turns out I actually survived owning that thing. I sold it because it was impractical. You have to be like a millionaire. You have to be like a multimillionaire. And you have to be making money to justify having one of those things. It costs like over $130,000. And then I had to drop like $8,000 on the taxes later on when I registered the thing. I should have just never registered it, because I was $8,000 extra. So anyway, I was like, well, this is a ridiculous piece of, and it kept having flat tires, and it's just, everything about it was impractical, and it just felt like a fucking burden, a liability. So I got rid of that damn thing. I sold it to Carmax, and they gave me a decent price. I compared it with a couple other places, and they gave me an offer that was too good to refuse. So they just took it right off my hands without really giving me any time to say goodbye. Like, they were just like, okay, is that, like, they didn't say anything. They just said, okay, come to the office. Did you have the registration? It was just it was too easy to get this. It's just such a big transaction to happen in 10 minutes. Because this car, they gave me $120,000 back for this car. So I walked out of there with a check. They were like, don't forget your check. I was like, I'm not going to forget a check for 120 G's. But I guess some people forget their check, because CarMax is like the McDonald's of car retailers. So anyway, I got it it's out of my life. The garage is now empty. It's nice, the empty garage. The Miata, which I still have, is now, it has so much room. I love it. I don't love that I have to pay for gas and pay for premium, supreme, fucking $5 a gallon gas to go anywhere. The Tez was way better with that, but it didn't fucking matter, because it got a flat tire every 1,000 miles or something, and that costs like $400. Anyway, enough about money. It's just nice to have it out of my life, and now I have a little bit of a cushion of money to live off and to upgrade my house and buy shit that I need and learn how to be more responsible with money. Because if you have $100,000 in your bank just sitting there, you're gonna feel like, hey, I could just do whatever I want. I could order out, could get delivery as much time. You just don't feel like you have to limit your spending. But that's something I gotta learn. You do have to you can't just blow $20,000 here and there. You can't just blow your money on stupid shit. So I don't know, man. Like adult finance, man. Being an adult is about learning how to take care of your freaking goddamn finances. And anyway, so sorry that I'm cursing so much, but because it's like life. Because people ask me, it's like, how the fuck do you get rich? Like they ask me, can you teach me how to be rich? It's like, well, being rich is one thing. Getting rich is another. Which part do you need help with? Well, both. They usually just want to know how to get rich, which I don't fucking know. I have no way. Besides going back in time, I don't okay, I guess I could tell you theoretically, get a job that pays more than you're spending per month. Don't spend your money on stupid stuff. Getting rich and being rich are one and the same. So you're not going to get rich if you don't know how to be rich. If you just spend your money on stupid things like Teslas that depreciate in value, it's going to be harder to get and stay rich. But it's pretty fucking simple. And then invest your extra income in shit that goes up over time. And I don't know, like crypto is doing bad right now. And doesn't mean that's not a bad thing. It's a good time to start considering which coins to invest in as they're at such lows. And I'm a crypto guy. I met a tech bro for the first time since moving to Austin. I've been here a year, and I finally met. People talk about tech bros all the time, but I never fucking met one. I met one he was like the biggest. He was kind of annoying because he kept talking as an authority on crypto. It's like, dude, he didn't let me have my own opinion. He didn't let me speak that much, even though he kind of did. He wasn't that bad, but looking back on it, it's like, this guy thinks he is an expert. And he's like, I made $300,000 last year investing in crypto. It's like, okay, I'm not going to say how much I made. But, that's not as much as it could be. That's not bad. But whatever, it's not a dick measuring contest. It's not about how much you made. But, he just, I don't know. Fuck him. Point is crypto's a cyclical game. You gotta look at it from year to year. You can't be looking at it day to day. Somebody was showing me these crypto these shit coins that randomly went up by 20 to 50% in 24 hours. And he's like, oh man, I could have made that much in one day. It's like, yeah. But how the hell was anybody supposed to know that they were going to go up? You can't just pick a random coin, throw money at it, and expect it to go up overnight. And so what the hell, do you think it's that easy? There's thousands upon thousands of coins and new ones, that happen every day. And there's Binance. It's like, you can't just... You got to be a little bit more choosy, and you can't expect it to happen overnight. So anyway, I'm looking at, this inflation deal. It's worse. It's as bad as ever. Literally, inflation is as bad as ever. Gas prices are as bad as ever. That's all I know. And if people don't have disposable income, because they're spending it all on gas, they're not going to have it to invest in stupid stuff like crypto. So I don't think it's going to get better until this recession is over and we get this goddamn old goober out of office and somebody younger who actually understands the economy and just does whatever we got to do to lower the gas prices, get the economy back booming, domestic gas fracking. We need to start fracking again. And then once gas goes down to $2 a gal, then people will be able to be like, okay, I'll buy crypto, and then it'll shoot back up. I don't mind if it goes down more. I want it to go, fuck it, the more it goes down, the more you can make money when it bounces back up. So I'm just saying, that's my game plan. I'm not going to mention which coins I'm looking at because they're obvious. They're all like top 20, top 50 market cap coins that were overvalued a year ago and now are becoming, in my opinion, undervalued. But you gotta know what you're doing. It's not like NFTs, man. You gotta do research. NFTs, even those you had to do research with. You can't just be freaking an idiot about it. Other people make money off the fools who get in at the last minute, like with Doge. People were jumping on the bandwagon. Meanwhile, it was already up, 2,000% for the year. You don't invest when something's up 2,000%, and it just is like hindsight is 20/20. And you got to track your cost basis. You got to know how much you invested so that when you close the position, when you sell, then you'll know what your profit or loss was, and that's relevant for taxes. You got to pay your taxes. See how boring I am? Yes, life gets more boring the longer you go. The more after you figure shit out, it's like, do I really want to hear this? Do I really want to hear somebody talk about taxes? Well, that does get more interesting as you get older because stability is hot. There's nothing hotter. And that's why it's, this brings me to the next topic, which is Notch syndrome. That dude, the dude who invented Minecraft, he became a billionaire and just stopped dealing with the game because he couldn't handle the feedback. The negative feedback made him anxious and stressed, and there was no pleasing his fans. So he was just he posted a tweet. It's like, does anybody want to just buy Mohang from me? And he was he was half joking. He deleted it, I think, but then a day later, Microsoft hits him up and gives him over $1 billion. And now he's a billionaire for forever and ever. He'll always be a billionaire unless he does something stupid. And he lives in a mansion that's I forgot how big, 20,000 square feet, 10 times bigger than my house. Pretty cool. But he lives there alone, and he's pretty lonely and sad. And he talked about this. He's open about it. He's like, yo, man, being a billionaire, it's kind of lame after a while because there's no chase. There's no challenge. He's not working on the game anymore. And I relate to that. I'm the same as him because I gave up a business that was thriving, had hundreds of thousands of users, and I just ended it because I just didn't feel like giving the people, I just didn't feel like dealing with the technical issues and hiring people. But anyway, I'm just covering shit a little bit quicker than I normally would because I am going to be introducing our guest very soon here, and maybe I'll ask him what he thinks about the stuff that I covered so far. And okay, so my next project, I'm a very project-oriented person. My next project is becoming a TikTok content creator or Instagram or YouTube. I gotta fucking figure something out. I gotta do something that the algorithm likes because it's like crack. The feeling of getting that instant, when you put out a YouTube short and it's 7 seconds long, that shit could get 3,000 views in the first couple minutes if it's the right fucking piece of content that there's an audience for, and that's the most satisfying. So I'm gonna keep doing that. I have nothing to show for it yet. I have 0 followers on TikTok because I got shadow banned immediately because I am retarded and I do adult content. I'm an idiot. I didn't realize you're not allowed to like talk about sex. Like I put out a TikTok immediately of me talking about how I like dicks, and like I guess you're not supposed to. So I got shadow banned, so I have 0 followers so far, but there's a trickle of views coming in, and I'm dedicated. It's just like you got to get out of your comfort zone. You got to be like, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to put out content. I don't know, man. Online, you got to have an online presence, and this is something I have talked about with my guest coming up in a couple minutes here. Just in a couple minutes, I'm going to bring it up. This guest of mine is somebody that I met a couple months ago here in the Austin comedy world or scene, and we've gotten to know each other pretty well. But anyway, so yeah, well, I'm going to talk to him about some of the things that I opened the episode with. I'm a little more energized than normal. I took drugs. I took armodafinil. That's what it's called. And that shit works, man. That shit just makes you focused, makes you want to like grind on TikTok and dating apps. Same thing. You want to get that fucking, I get it. I get why it's addictive to put out content on those platforms. And Instagram is crazy. Like they're competing up the wazoo with TikTok to become, because that's what everything is now. It's a short, couple seconds long. You got to have a hook. You got to find a niche. So anyway, so let's go ahead and introduce your guest. I believe he's ready. He's in the waiting room. He's in the green room. And might have to do so. Oh, okay. I got him on screen there. Now I just got to have him unmute himself, and then it should be ready to go. Yeah. Okay, so here's your guest for the evening. It's Mike Linehan. Michael Linehan. How are you doing today?
Hey, Warren Buffett. It's good speaking with you again. It's been a while. I was just paying quick attention. I'm paying with my life, dude. I invested every dollar I have into what was the coin you recommended? Crosscoin.
Crosscoin. I'm not familiar with that one, actually.
Well, I invested $80,000 into it, and I'm looking at a 400% decrease.
Seriously?
No, dude. You think I have $80,000? I have $8 in my bank account.
Hey, what's the most money you've ever had?
In my bank account?
In your whole life, yeah. Sure.
So when I was in college, when I was going back to college, I was a comedian, and I didn't bank on comedy working out. I didn't think comedy was going to work out. It still hasn't worked out, let's be honest. But yeah, so I worked my ass off the year I was suspended from college, and I managed to save $20,000 because I didn't do anything. I didn't drink. I didn't go out. It was the first time I got sober, and I got $20,000, and I paid for my college, and I went for a year, and I realized I wasn't going to be able to make the money again, so I dropped out and pursued comedy.
Not bad. 20 grand is not bad for somebody of your age. So then comedy is where it ruined you. That's where you...
No, it didn't ruin me. It gave me a reason to live. I hated my life. I felt worthless. I knew I wasn't going to be able to do the job even if I got the degree. I knew I didn't think I could even get the degree. My grades were not great. I was trying my hardest. I was going to multiple tutors. I just wanted to prove that I thought college was the end all be all. Like if you don't have a college degree, you're nobody. You're a fucking loser, you know? And that's kind of the way I grew up, and I realized following your dreams and your passion is more important than a degree.
Sorry, what did you get a degree in?
I was going to a small engineering school in Boston, Massachusetts. Have you heard of Boston?
I've heard of Boston. Yes, it's a place of many assholes.
Many pockets, but yeah, it's a good place, dude. So I went to it's a sister school of Northeastern University. You know Northeastern University?
There's many of Northeastern universities, I think. I don't know.
Yeah,
So there's one.
so it's a sister school of that, and it's called Wentworth Institute of Technology. I'm good with like mechanical shit. I was good at some of it. Partial math. I'm all right at math, and I was studying construction management. You usually just tear shit apart, but I was going to school to build shit together, to be cohesive, and to build skyscrapers. And I thought that was cool. I'm really interested in archaeology, not archaeology, in
Architecture?
just architecture, engineering. Like it's just I like finicking with like little projects like that. And I thought because Wentworth is the #1 school in the world for that major, there's only about 8 schools that offer that major anyway. So I mean, it's not like it's fucking great, but I thought I was doing something big. And you know me, dude, as long as there's the hope of something big, then I'll do it.
In the long term, you're saying, if there's something
Yeah.
big in the long term. Yeah, that's something that I kind of have been talking about, is like this whole like trying to become something that it takes a lot of effort and grind and like persistence, like becoming anything, podcaster, comedian, TikTok guy with more than 0 followers even is difficult these days. So I met you 2 months ago. I finally got you on the podcast. You used to live here in Austin, and you had longer hair. You look so different.
I went through a lot of life changes. My life has actually become vastly shortened because of my time in Austin, Texas. I regret. The one thing I don't regret about going is some of the people, meeting you, a couple other friends. But it definitely, I'm not going to live long. I'm probably going to die in my 30s because of my time in Austin. And that's something I'll always regret.
So you got some sort of disease, it sounds like, some sort of life-shortening experience or something that just changed you from Austin. Yeah, and we could talk about that.
I made a mistake, but that's all right. Everybody has to learn from their mistakes, and some are bigger and more powerful than you could even imagine.
Well, do you want to go into that? Do you want to talk about what mistakes you've made and learned from? Because this podcast is about self-improvement.
Yeah, we can definitely go into that. We can indulge into all of my wrongs, and maybe we can talk about how we're gonna make them right. But no, I went to Austin. I'm one of the only guys that enjoys stand-up comedy. I literally think it's fun to go on stage and to talk about anything I want to talk about my life, talk about my shortcomings, talk about my whatever the fuck, my dick, my ass, this chick that was trying to eat my ass, and it's like no one else gets pleasure from comedy. They do it for one reason and one reason only, because they want to be the coolest person. They want to be cool. They want to be the guy that everybody's like, oh, dude, you're the coolest dude ever. But realistically, every stand-up comedian is a fucking fag, a loser, a fucking bum that couldn't do anything else. So they make stand-up their personality, and that's what I did, and it really backfired on me.
Yeah, I do agree that a lot of people do it just for the pleasure of being, I don't know, it's just they feel like, oh, I'm part of something. But there's nothing wrong with that. Like, there's some people that are more shallow than other people that just do it not for the love of the game, but for the showbiz, for the fucking glitz and glamour, which there isn't much of.
They want to be an actor. They want to be a model. They want to be an influencer. They don't want to make people laugh. If they wanted to make people laugh, they would write better jokes. Let's be honest, you know?
Joke writing is hard, and it does, some people have it takes a while, I think, to get good at it. There's so many.
It takes a lifetime, honestly, to perfect it. Like, you look at guys like Louis C.K., Bill Burr, even like naturally funny guys like Theo Von. Like, Theo Von probably struggles with the same thing I struggle with, where you have too much personality and it's tied into your act, and the joke writing kind of goes to the side. And that is looked upon, it's frowned upon by many comics. If you don't already have a little bit of fame to protect you, people will want to take you down. They're like, who the fuck is this guy? And that's one of my problems also. I gotta watch myself. I can't overstep anything. And that, yeah.
Who the fuck is this guy is a great way to put it. A lot of people, that is the reaction. That's the thing you gotta fight, is the proving that you're not. I don't know. Yeah, it's like you gotta grow into your own persona that isn't overdone by other people. That's based on yourself. Oh shit, you look like a robber. Is that one of your props that you're trying? Oh no, it's just
a hat that I found on the street, and it has eyes cut out on it.
Dude, yeah, those are definitely cut out. Yeah, those are definitely something that somebody used.
Yeah, I think somebody robbed the liquor store wearing this hat, and I found it, and I brought it home with me.
Well, it doesn't look bad on you.
It's a good hat.
So you got that new haircut. I mean, we talked about comedy a little bit there, but you haven't been doing it. When was the last time you even did it?
I haven't gone. I can't. I'm having too much heart problems. I'm having trouble speaking and moving like around. I'm having a lot of trouble with that. So I tried. I keep trying. I keep going to open mics. I get really lightheaded. My chest hurts, and I'm having trouble breathing. So I'm trying my best. Hopefully this will blow over, but for now, I'm just taking kind of a back seat. The last time I performed was in New York City, about 2 weeks ago, and that was definitely an experience because I am known. I have a very, 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 very cool. I'm infamous in New York now. I went to an open mic. I signed up. I watched the host of the open mic walk out on the phone, and he came back in, and he was followed by about 35 people, all coming to watch me perform, and that was cool. Having a reputation can be good, and it can be bad at the same time, and you have to learn how to deal with it, and people are always going to expect something from you when you get that, and like I said, you need a little bit of fame to protect your ass, you know?
Okay. As in positive fame, not infamy. And
yeah.
So yes, it is a topic that we've talked about a lot off the pod, is you thinking that you have this reputation and that you've kind of burnt some bridges in a way that's like really bothering you. And and it started in when you travel to New York. Do you want anything? Also, you have some health problem that is undiagnosed.
Yeah.
That is causing you to not be able to be as active as you'd like. Have you sought any medical?
Yeah, I have. I've been looked at, and there's no answers on my end. I got a few clues. I got a few ideas. But yeah, I'm really not doing well medically. That's okay because I kind of brought it on myself. A lot of shit has been spoken into existence by me, and that's one thing I have to watch because you can't go around. It's one of those, who the fuck is this guy? You know what I mean? You can't say you have a curse. You can't You can't say that shit and not expect the worst.
You mean if you go around saying that you have some problem that isn't real, people will think you're crying wolf? I don't know. I feel like you changed. You're talking about the disease at one point. You're talking about your health at one second, then the next second, you're talking about like your the way people perceive you.
I know. So yeah, it's a lot of people want to see high energy riffs, and I'm having, like I said, I'm very fatigued. I'm not feeling well. Maybe it's COVID. Maybe it's Maybelline. Who knows? You know?
Shit, you never know.
Yeah, and I've been tested. I don't think it's COVID. So I'm gonna wait a few days, see if it blows by. If not, I'm gonna do everything I can to stay alive, just to keep thriving and pushing towards my goals, and that's all you can do.
Okay. Well, I'm rooting for you to figure it out and get better. I'm glad that you're able to do the podcast in the meantime. Can we talk about how you became sober? Because this is a sober podcast.
Yeah. So I've had a lot of trauma in my life. I was born in trauma. I probably will die in trauma, to be honest with you. That's another example of me speaking shit into existence. But no, I had to get sober. I was drinking too much. All of comedy is really, it's just a hang. It's a 90% of comedy is hanging out, drinking, joking around with other comedians, and I fell too deep into the alcohol lifestyle of comedy, and I was doing a lot of hard drugs, and I saw my comedy career. I was getting better as a comic, but I was getting worse as a person, you know. So I had to make a change. I had an accident. I crashed a car, just like you. And we both got sober basically the same way. We fucked up. We admitted we fucked up, and we got better.
Yep, around the same time. Yeah, almost not a year ago, about 10 months ago, 8 months. I don't forgot. 8 months, I think. Yeah, I'm keeping track. That's how I know. I don't know if you're keeping track of the days since your last drink or whatever.
Yeah, I have, and then I've relapsed a couple of times. Yeah, I relapsed in Austin. I had a drink, and then I did some cocaine. So I mean, I might die. Who knows?
Right, you think something was in it. You got laced. Something was in the whatever you took, and that's when the health thing started.
Yeah.
So you said you didn't start doing the drugs and the boozing until you got into comedy?
No, in high school, towards the end of high school, my senior year is when I first started dabbling with like alcohol and cocaine. And
the big H?
No, I never got into heroin.
I thought you did. Never mind. I thought you said once. You think you were just joking then. Never mind.
Yeah, I wish I did. It's better to do it before you get sober.
Because then you have something to not think of. Well, it's good to have it in your past, I guess.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I haven't done. But no, I started doing drugs at a young age, which I really don't want to talk about this too much, just because it's not.
Yeah, no worries.
It's not great, and no, I've gone sober, and I'm gonna remain sober. I never will relapse again. So if I die, it wasn't because I did it.
Yeah.
And you got to be careful with who you trust, and you you really gotta pay attention to the smaller things. I was I was a guy that thought everybody's intentions were pure,
Yeah.
and that's one thing about this business that I learned very quickly. You have to be careful who you trust, who you have around you, because not everybody is all about having good comedians in comedy.
Oh, yeah, being a good comic and being a good person are usually is so hard to find somebody that has.
Both.
Yeah, very hard.
It's extremely hard because there's so much ego involved in what we do, and a lot of it is necessary. If you don't have that ego, you're shooting yourself in the foot somewhat, because you genuinely have to believe you're the funniest person in the world when you get on stage.
Yeah, I've heard that. I think there's truth to that. I don't know if it has to be, if they think necessarily that every time. I don't know. Maybe subconsciously you do to kill. But I don't know. I think some people are just funny without being narcissists, or, I think it's.
Yeah, without having a confidence boost. Yeah, I mean, it really, yeah, it's if you can rely on, like, there's a lot of like deadpan delivery comics that have good, great jokes, and they're great joke writers that they don't have to give a shit. But yeah, I think everybody's different, and having confidence is not a bad thing.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you need confidence, or else you're just gonna cave in. You're just gonna deflate midway through the set and like abandon all. The set will fall apart. And
Yeah,
I struggle.
exactly.
I go through that all the time. I lose faith in myself after. Yeah, I'm like fragile as a piece of paper, and it'll come back. I think I just need to get big on TikTok, and once I have that superficial boost of a big number on the, I just need a big number next to my name.
Well, you got a big number in your bank account.
That's true. That helps. Having a decent amount of money in the bank or anywhere, yeah, that can give you some that you could coast on that for a little while.
But also, great things come from struggle.
Right.
You know, there's never been great art coming from a mansion. It usually is going into a mansion to sit on the wall. It's not coming. There's not beautiful art leaving the door. They're usually just taking it to hoard it. You know?
Right. Yeah. People with money. Yeah. Making money didn't make me any funnier.
Yeah, and yeah, they really. Well, comedy is time and plus tragedy, and that equals Mike Linehan. You know?
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
You got the background of a comedian, and you're only a couple years in, so it's like your career is only ahead of you.
yeah,
You're very young.
yeah,
Got tons of time to figure it out or figure something out.
yeah. I really just need to figure out what I want from comedy. I went into it, like I said, I was blinded with love. I did it just to get laughs and to make people have a good night and enjoy their night. But also, I gotta be a businessman about it. I need to go a little Hollywood.
Yeah. So what's your game plan to make to make something happen? What's your career?
Well, right now, all my assets are frozen, and I don't have many assets at all. I can't access the little money that I have. So I'm just trying to figure it out. I'm gonna get a good tape from Laugh Boston in a week or two, and I'm going to try to get as much cash as I can, and I'm going to say you can catch me if you can kind of deal. And I'm going to go out to LA, go try to fucking maybe get an acting gig or something, get past at the Comedy Store. I don't know.
Okay. Well, I just know that you have a drive in you that not a lot of
Yeah,
people
but the
have.
drive was dude, the day I found out that nobody else cares about comedy like I care about comedy, that broke my fucking heart, dude.
So that happened in one day. How did that happen?
Somebody told me.
Somebody told you. A
They were like,
wise
"Hey,
old man.
they're like, hey, bro, you realize nobody gives a fuck about comedy like you give a fuck about comedy." And I was like, oh man, like that makes so much sense why everybody hates me. You know what I mean?
Was this somebody that is like that you look up to that's an authority on the subject?
No, it's a guy that I was staying with. He's open for a pretty famous comedian.
Okay.
He's a good comedian himself. He was a decent guy to me. He let me stay at his place.
Okay.
Uh, but yeah, and going to New York, I realized the level of comedy is low everywhere. There's just a few funny people, high level comics, and you have to seek them out. They're not doing comedy every night. They're they have their own lives, and I have to incorporate a life into comedy. Like comedy is just a small part of everything, you know.
I see. I see. I think I see what you're. Yeah. So a lot of the real comics, in your opinion, the ones that are really good, they don't go out every night.
No,
Yeah.
they're they 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 did it. They did that when they were my age,
Right.
and they get burnt out
Mm-hmm.
and they get sick of being around the nonsense. It seems like, and they just they go live in their mansions
Mm-hmm.
and they just write a new hour and they do it a couple like they tour it for a few months and then they're tired and they repeat the next year, you know?
Sounds fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Just writing a new hour, touring it, doing a special, but doing it.
Exactly. Like Louis C.K. Is a perfect example of like a real comedian that's around today,
He's
alive
such a
today.
great role model for but for so many artists and people just trying to get into a career. Like he set the standard for how to sell a special. Like he does so
He
many
does
things.
he does everything. He does that. Maybe he's got a team, but everything is the Louis C.K. network. You know, it's his website. It's all
Exactly.
his content. You buy it directly from the comedian.
Exactly. That is
Yeah.
such a brilliant move financially to cut out the middleman. He's a Jew.
Yeah.
He's half Jewish or something.
Yeah. He's from Boston, right?
Well, yeah, I know he got up. That's where he started comedy. That's where he came up. Yeah. He's a Boston comic, and it's tough place to do comedy. It sounds like you gotta have grit and big balls. I don't know, because you came over here, a couple of years into comedy. Yeah, but you had this brazen. You had this ability to go on stage and not give a fuck. Like you weren't
Yeah.
afraid of rooms that maybe other people would be intimidated by. I don't know. You have this toughness to you, and you have this ability to take shit from people and keep going. And I respect that for sure. I mean, I've experienced that from you thousands of times.
Yeah, all I do is take shit. My whole life I've been the punching bag. And I've gotten kind of sick of it. So I need to get my chickens in order and I need to get some power. I need a little bit of fame. I need a little bit of money to where I can say fuck you, get the fuck out of my face right now. You know what I mean? Shit like that.
So that seems to be kind of at the root of why you want to get somewhere in life, is because you've been this underdog, you've been this doormat. When did this start? Are you like the black sheep of your family?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just a middle child that typically it leads to nothing but neglect, you know. Yeah, I
Hmm.
come from a really weird situation. My family acts like they're the greatest people in the world, that they're moving mountains, and they never believed in me for anything. They thought I fucking sucked at comedy. They didn't want to be a part of any of my comedy career. And the minute they find out that, oh, Mikey's pretty good, switch sides.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, and that's just the people I've been dealing with my whole life. I never really learned too many social skills. I've always been an outcast. I had a pretty tight knit friend group growing up. My whole life, I only hung out with about 2 to 3 other people, and I lost those friends. I've done wrong. And a lot of people just never believed in me as a comedian. They were like, "Who the fuck does this guy think he is?" And I still get that to this day.
Well, that seems to be the theme of this podcast episode, is the whole like proving that you're somebody that is to be reckoned with and not just an imposter. I mean,
Yeah,
because yeah, like you're very complicated. Like you have these different, you go through these different phases. Because I talk to you a lot, and like one day you'll be like, okay, I'm gonna move to New York. Then the next day it's like, nah, I'm not. I'm gonna take a year off from comedy.
yeah. Well, that goes along with just being known, being infamous in the comedy world. You know me, dude. I really loved being the I still want to be the underdog that comes back and proves the world wrong. You know, I love just showing up places where everybody was like, "Who the fuck is this guy? Why does he think he should be on stage?" And then I get on stage and they're like, "This guy should be here every fucking week." You know, one of those. I thrived on being this shadow character. Nobody knew of me. Um, I liked that, you know. I wasn't ready to be famous, to be rich. I should be ready to be rich. I've been poor for too long, you know. And yeah, I definitely go through phases, dude. I'm 23. I'm a young guy, young man going through changes in life, going through phases, and I'm trying to make the most out of every opportunity, and I want to do the right thing. And I think for me, that will be in Los Angeles.
Oh, now it's Los Angeles.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think I'm gonna go straight Hollywood, bro.
Okay. I mean, you'll need a car. I
I'll
mean,
need a car, and I need a inner circle. I need a couple friends that will go with me and are willing to put in the time and to create something big.
yeah, I would actually think that's actually more important than the car, is having a group, a couple
Yeah,
close friends that, if just for roommates, first of all, just to save you on living
save
expenses.
money
You need
and
tight.
to have people to talk to that I can trust,
Yeah.
that I can tell them, because I there's only going to be more people trying to put me down, people that want to be me.
Mhm.
I don't even fucking want to be me yet, you know. I didn't want to be this guy that has to do something bigger than life, you know what I mean? I wanted to do that in my 30s, and now I have no choice.
It's yeah, and so you have this superior, you have this like inferiority, yet in the and you definitely have a complex of some kind that I can't put my finger on. It's like you have this feeling of being a punching bag, and like everybody's jealous of you and everybody talks about you, and like, so I guess that's where your drive comes from, is you want to prove the world wrong. And yeah, I wouldn't go to LA alone. That seems like a
A
depressing
disaster waiting to happen.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to go even with I don't think I know anybody there anymore, but like, yeah, it's like such a big, isolating place, it seems. Even Austin.
It's easy to be in a room full of people and still feel alone, you know?
That's a very good point, and that's something. Yeah, it's tough to find people like that make you feel good just to be around.
But I'm lucky. I have some good friends. I have one or two close friends back home that I've been able to voice what's going on, and they actually understand, and they know it's what's going on. So it's been helpful to know that you're not alone, actually, because I've been alone my whole life. That's why I'm alone now. And that's one thing I can't be. You can't be alone. You can't be all alone in an Audi R8, you know? You want somebody in the passenger seat.
For the most, yeah, as long, there's something to be said for being alone in a sports car and just enjoying the feeling of just like being able to go wherever you want and drive however you want without somebody telling you to slow down. I mean, being depressed in a sports car is better than being depressed not in a sport. I could speak to that.
Yeah.
But you're right. It's just hard to find the right passenger who's gonna be submissive and not tell you where to go. So I'm just learning to enjoy it. My lonesome.
Yeah, it's definitely something that I'm gonna have to realize, because the top is lonely, and there hasn't been. Would you say Pete Davidson is someone I should model my career after?
He's super talented, and like he doesn't have that superiority. He doesn't have like that. Oh, everybody is like. He's very like more like realistic. He's super self-aware. This dude has been through tragedy, and he has like a very real down-to-earthness to him, and the talent, the ability. He is unique. That's why he's one in a million. Like, that's why he's famous, I guess, is because like he's this, normal-looking white dude, but he's got a silver tongue. So yeah, you should you could emulate him, I guess, but he's unique. There's no set trajectory. There's no set path. You gotta everybody has to figure out their own fucking career, and I'm right there with you. I gotta figure out something for myself, which I've been talking about for this whole podcast. This is what we're all trying to get somewhere, and like part of it is just like failure cannot be an option. I think to become successful, you gotta be like, I only have this much time to make it happen, so let's make it happen by force. Can't wait for shit to come to you.
Yeah, you have to be willing to move out of your home scene,
which we both have done. You've done it much earlier than me, which is great that you've already done that at your age.
I tried, I failed, but that's a big part of comedy. They want you to be around other comedians, and like it's hard for me because I personally hate most comedians now, especially
everybody hates most comedians.
Yeah, I loved all comedians. Now I hate them all, especially Colin Quinn. That guy can go fuck himself. But
what happened there?
What?
Did you interact with him? What happened with Colin Quinn?
Oh, just shit with her that chick in Austin.
Oh, I thought you meant I thought you meant the famous one.
No, I do. I do. I literally mean the famous
Okay, well,
one.
go on. I'm listening. Go
But
ahead.
I don't want to. I don't want. I guess fuck Rebecca. Rebecca
Oh boy,
just
we're
was.
name drop. We're going heavy. Go ahead.
Yeah. All right. She was like relaying information to Colin Quinn. Fuck that guy. That guy sucks at comedy. I'm a better comedian than Colin Quinn.
Why would
Uh,
she? Why did she relay info to get? What was the?
I don't fucking know. What
Okay.
the fuck is that? She's a fucking weird cunt, and I'm gonna take her fucking down eventually.
Oh boy, that's gonna be something that's gonna be hard to leave in the episode. Calling her. Holy crap! Wow, that came out of left field. I don't
Yeah, dude. I'm angry. You don't ship me to fucking New York in hopes that I'm gonna kill myself and not expect me to come back and take you down eventually, you know?
I mean, I guess I know where you're coming from.
Yeah. So that's a real thing in comedy. If you young comics out there, if you move from your home scene to like a small scene like Austin, Texas, and you show weakness and you tell someone you're depressed, they're gonna ship you to New York in hopes that you either quit comedy or you kill yourself.
So that's pretty much what happened. What you just described. You might as well go into you might as well kind of like not be vague about it, like because you're already.
All right, so I did a lot of hanging out at the Creek in the Cave. I thought it was a place that wanted good comedy and wanted so they marketed it as a place for young comics to grow and to get better at their craft and to network with other like-minded comics that are of age, all usually under 35. You know what I mean? And they do have nationally touring headliners on weekends, so you get the best of both worlds. On weekdays, it's all local comic ranch shows, and on weekends, it's national headliners. So it really is a unique club in that way. And so I was doing a lot of hanging out there. My apartment, well, my first month there, I had an Airbnb that had like a backyard and like just where I like hanging out, dude. I like just like looking at whatever, my phone outside, chilling in a lawn chair. I do the same shit back here. I just sit by my pool and I come up with jokes and then I go do those jokes, you know? And so I moved out of that Airbnb and unfortunately I could only afford a very shitty, very cesspool like shared living space deal.
Mhm.
It's called Austin Room for Rent. It's about $700 a month. You split an apartment with three other roommates, and you got to deal with who you're gonna live with for that price. And my roommates were junkies, um, complete drug addicts. The first time I went to my apartment, I walked in. There was a guy cooking crack on the stove.
Yeah.
So I mean, that wasn't ideal for a guy that's looking to stay sober and trying to better his life. But so my place was above a bar on 6th Street, and it would shake until 2 a.m. It was too loud for me. It was too much of a nuisance to be there until 2 a.m. So I would hang out at the Creek in the Cave, and I started to form a bond with the owner, with Rebecca. I thought it was someone I could trust. There's never anybody you can trust in this business unless you started comedy with them, and or you've like been to this person's house and like they've let you in on some of their secrets. You know, like that's kind of like what I'm learning. Like you got to realize trust comes with time, and they have to trust you for you to trust them, and that's kind of like an equal thing. But I was naive. I thought this woman that owns the club, she would love me, and, well, not love me, but like want me to be a part of of what's going on, part of the club, part of the shows, because who wouldn't want to have the greatest young comedian doing shows at a club that's marketed as young comedians are doing shows here? So that all just made perfect sense in my head why I should be there. Um, and I started trying to form a bond, and I was hanging out there, would chill with her, talk. I actually had you come for one to hang out, and I thought I could trust this person. And I didn't know this was a big part of comedy. Once you say you're depressed, which I've battled on and on with depression the majority of my life. Typically, it's just being sad for a day or two, and then you gotta fucking man up and get over it. And I do. I always do get over it. But I showed weakness, and I told her I was depressed. So they give you this fucking pill that makes you way more depressed, and they ship you to New York or to LA, and they tell you they're gonna get you a bunch of gigs, and it all, like, none of it's true. Like when I reached back out, they acted like it never was an offer. You know what I mean? Like they make you seem like you're a fucking idiot. And I didn't know that was a real thing in comedy. So I went to New York, did some networking, got on a show, ended up hosting a show, and I did some open mics, and I had a blast. All I like doing comedy, you know?
Okay, well, that basically sums it up. You got baited into going to New York, and you found out that it was
It was just a move to either have me quit or kill myself.
Okay, well, that's your side of it. It would be nice to hear the other side of it. I certainly don't know anything about that, what happened, besides what I've heard from you. I wasn't there when this was promised to you. I was skeptical of it. It sounded...
Oh, I was skeptical of it too, but I didn't know. I'm 23. No one's ever told me anything about this business because so when I started comedy, uh, all the comedians that were at the open mics that I went to wouldn't laugh at my jokes, even if they were good. So I had to become undeniable real quick, just because I didn't know that just off of look and voice you can get a big deal. I could have had a big deal probably years ago before I found my voice and what I think is funny, but that's probably a great thing because I'm actually shooting a special in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Once I start feeling a little bit better, I'm gonna do it in one take. I'm gonna do it with one camera, and I'm gonna do it probably in front of about 25 people, hour long. Would you like to come?
Let's start with booking it. Let's see the poster. I want to see the Eventbrite. I want to know how many tickets you sold. Then if you sell at least 20 tickets, yeah, I'll come.
All right.
I'm rooting for you, man. It sounds like you've been through a lot.
I have. No, I just wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for this business, for this industry. I avoided it because I didn't know any. I know I was never taught what to look out for, what to say, who to trust, or not to trust anybody. I honestly was blinded by love. I keep saying this. I'm a guy that's all about emotion and passion, and that's what drives me to do most of the things that I do. I'm very much connected to my emotions, and I'm not going to stick around for a place that makes me feel bad about myself, you know? I'm not going to not be accepted. If I'm not accepted, I'm out, you know? I'm a traveler. That's one thing that I loved about comedy. You can pick up and go anywhere, and there's pretty much going to be a comedy scene, you know?
Or at least some sort of venue that comedy can take place. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a club. It could be a tiny little black box theater. It could be, anywhere, pretty much.
Yeah.
A bar. So
Yeah, and I realized like I can't try to get on comedian shows. Comic ran shows are all, it's not about, there's not any comic out there that's running a show that's doing it to put on a good show.
Okay.
They're doing it to put on their friends and to hang out and to have a good time. And that's really what I was blinded by the love of comedy for that too. And I wasn't focusing on getting in a friend group. But it's tough when you're young and naturally talented, because nobody wants to be friends with you unless you're rich and famous, you know?
I don't know about that. You're young enough where you could make friends way easier than somebody in their 30s. I think it gets harder as you get older.
I think it gets
college
easier.
age. Dude.
Yeah, well, no, I'm saying like in the comedy world, it's
same thing, even better. I mean, in the comedy world, it's easier to make friends because comedians are rare types of personalities, and they don't often have normal relationships. So you could make friends with comics, man.
Yeah, well, I have about 2 friends, you and my friend Braden. So, I mean, that's all I really need right now. If you guys will move to LA with me, I could probably make it happen for all of us. But, yeah, I really need to get 2, maybe 3 more.
So what
friends.
is in LA that is going to give you what you want in life? What is there? Because you said you're not really open to working with other comedians, or you feel like you're not welcome in the cliques or whatever. So what is in LA that you think? Why not just?
I want to be in a place where I can do comedy every single day, which you can't do that in Boston. And I still have this dream of being accepted in a club and having a place where I can say whatever I want.
Well, let's make a deal. How about you give Chicago a try, but first I'll go there with you. I'll meet you there, and I'll be your friend. I'll advocate for you. I'll help you get on shows, but that's if you could, I don't know what I'm asking from you, other than to just try to learn from your experience so far and try to, I don't know. I think that's a better, more realistic thing I could commit to, is meeting you there. Because you've never even tried that scene, and you can get up every day there multiple times. If you can't make it in the Midwest, I don't think you're ready for the coasts. So how's that for a deal?
Yeah, that sounds good to me, dude.
Cool.
And then I think if I was going to do that, I would probably start, I'd try to get in at Second City, do some improv.
There you go. That's another thing that you could do.
Yeah, that's really, my family wants me to, I don't give a shit what my family wants me to do, but they want me to get into acting, try to get on SNL, which is probably something I could do.
Chicago's an entry for that. If you do improv, that's where most people get writing jobs for SNL, is from improv. It's true. And for late night TV shows, if that's what you want to do. Also, you'll meet a lot of people. You'll meet normal, non-sycophant type, not as bad as comedians, at least, if you do improv. You'll meet women. You'll meet women that aren't like fucked up in the head, crazy women that do it's less craziness. I'm just saying that'd be a great thing to try out.
Yeah, I think Chicago. Everybody's telling me Chicago.
And I'm telling you, as somebody who's from there, and yes, I think you should definitely consider it.
Why?
For the reasons I just said, like it's the Midwest. It's you could get up every night. You could do improv, which is a great thing to do in addition to stand up. It'll expose you to a good community. You'll get funnier.
It'll probably make me better at hanging out too.
Yeah,
like riffing with other comics. That's one thing I never gave up, because the way I came up in Boston, I've been hated in Boston since the moment I started.
That's the thing. You gotta work on that. We gotta therapize you, because if you're a douche anywhere, if they will turn on you, any scene will turn on anybody who doesn't play the game and is just a douche.
Why, you think I was a douche in Austin?
In so many in a nice. What's the nicest way to say yes to that?
Yes.
I think that there's something about you that turns people away from you. I don't have to say that. You kind of already have been saying that, I think.
Yeah, well, a lot of it is just being intimidated by me, and I can't be broke.
That's another. Okay. That's the problem. How do I turn this around? How do I get you to hold up a mirror to yourself? Anytime you say something like that, that's ridiculous. That they're intimidated by a 23-year-old with long hair who's 5'3". They're intimidated.
5'8".
Bullshit.
Yeah. All right.
Whatever. However tall you are. I'm just wondering what goes through your mind whenever you say something that's clearly, whatever the word is.
Chauvinistic?
Is that the right word? Something grandiose, when you say something that clearly is not based on reality. Oh, they're intimidated by me. Oh, they want to be me. Oh, I'm doing great comedy and they don't laugh. There's something there that needs to be addressed. Like, it's fine. I kind of know you, that it's not, it's just kind of, it's like a mask. It's like, I don't know if deep down you really believe that you're like the best.
No. Well, I was nice to everybody. I gave everybody a chance in Austin. Nobody gave me a chance. The minute I got there, people were trying to figure out my weaknesses. And people turned on me, my own friends. It's tough. Yeah, if people aren't laughing, then maybe the joke's not good. But if you're only telling it to 3 or 4 other comedians, it's easy for everybody to just not laugh. You can choose not to laugh. And that's a real thing.
Sure. No, you're right.
And that happened to me in Boston, and it happened to me in Austin. So I really have to avoid the weeds and just try not to worry too much about if people are laughing. Well, I just want to make the comedians that are my friends laugh. I want to make you laugh. I want to make my friend Braden. I don't give a fuck about the other comedians,
That's the right attitude to have. That's healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, so sometimes you get you nail it on the head. That's exactly the right attitude to have.
Yeah. And I couldn't give a fuck, because there is a lot of jealousy involved in comedy. There is.
Yes.
And we're in such a... I didn't know how cutthroat... I didn't realize Austin was Hollywood.
I didn't either until... Yeah, you're right. It is.
It is. I had no fucking clue. Like, I don't think... Is Chicago like that? No, right?
There's drama and there's totally that competitiveness, but Austin, I think, takes the cake. I think it exceeds
And why
Chicago.
is that?
Because it is more Hollywood. It's more people from that part of the country, and people come in here just for the Joe Rogan thing. And like Chicago is like that, but I wasn't prepared for a smaller city to be even more smooth. Like, geez, like people just like talking shit and like drama and like people.
Yeah, it's like, dude, you'll be in Austin. You'll be talking to a group of people. Someone will walk up and be like, hey, what's up, guys? And they'll walk away, and then everybody will just start talking shit about that guy.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
That's It happens in every comedy scene, but I guess I thought it wasn't going to be as bad for some reason. I don't know, because I thought Austin was a nicer city.
Yeah, I was really convinced that the people that moved there went there to go be around nice, healthy, normal people. And then I realized the longer I was there that Austin, there isn't many people from Texas there, you know? It very much is transplants from the East Coast and the West Coast. And the majority of the people are from the West Coast because it's closer. It's very much similar, like climates, hotter, you know?
Yeah.
And I wasn't prepared. I thought it was all for fun, and which is fucking insane. Nobody else has fun on stage.
I try to. If I'm not having fun, I'm going to not do well.
Yeah. But like, I feel like the majority of people that get on stage are just like, oh, I have to do this tonight just to get this over with. You know what I mean? And it's like, I'm the type of guy that I'm looking for, even if it's just an open mic, I'm looking forward to going there. You know what I mean?
Total. That's I could relate to that sometimes. For the most part, I like to not. Sometimes you just do it to do it as a part of that's why it's called a grind. I mean, it's not always going to be fun. It's impossible.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you have to.
This 7 p.m. mic or whatever, street mic, or like a mic that happens in the park. Yeah, that's not always going to be. It's going to be tough to maintain the positive excitement but yeah, ideally, even you got to have fun at least sometimes, or else why the fuck are you doing it?
Yeah, I definitely wasn't having fun at any outdoor. I don't like outdoor comedy. That really drains me.
Really tough.
Especially being around like people in Austin that like really enjoy outdoor comedy.
Ugh.
That was something I struggled to deal with. That made me really fucking sad when I would show up at a mic and it would be outside and there'd be like 4 people there, and it was just like, what the fuck am I doing? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I moved across the country to do comedy indoors and to perfect my 30-minute to an hour of comedy. You know what I mean? And I only got about 5 to 8 minutes out of my time in Austin.
In a couple months? That's not bad. If that's actually accurate, that's not that bad to get 8 minutes in 2 months. I'm doing shit from years ago. I'm doing jokes still that I wrote before you even ever thought about doing stand-up. That's just how it goes. If you have a joke, it's so hard to ditch it. Yeah.
I still do my first joke.
I would imagine so. If it works still, yeah, I would think so. Because to have 8 minutes, that's a lot. To come up with 8 minutes in 2 months, that's pretty good, actually.
Well, I always force myself to like, I didn't realize nobody else actually riffs. That's not like a thing.
I do.
Yeah, you do. Okay. I do. But like, there's probably about like 7 people in the country that can actually riff on a topic. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And dude, I just didn't realize how hard comedy is for other people.
Yeah, I maybe you're gifted at it and then
And
Okay.
I was but I was being a fucking idiot, and I was telling people, I was like, dude, you guys know, like, this isn't that hard. And it's like, what the fuck, dude? It's like the hardest thing in the world. But it just comes to me for whatever, maybe it's my learning disabilities and just my social unawareness that helps me on stage having I can have a conversation with 30 people, but I struggle to have a conversation with one, you know?
Okay. Yeah, that's that's pretty commonplace for comedians. We do bet we're more comfortable on stage just being in control instead of being.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't do well in groups, in like off stage. As soon as there's three people me and three other people is where I can no longer hold a conversation.
Yeah, at that point it's like, dude, like, what the fuck what are we doing here? You know, like, are we going around a wheel and fucking trying to come up with the best dick joke outside of this patio? Like, what the fuck is happening, you know?
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like the one-upmanship of
Y- y-
off-stage banter.
Yeah, that's really fucked up. But I've been a dick. I have to stop voicing my opinions sometimes because my opinions are sometimes wrong. And even if they're right, nobody wants to hear the 23-year-old kid, the guy's opinion when he's broke. You know what I mean?
I mean, that could be part of the reason that you got some pushback in Austin or Boston or wherever.
Yeah, that's one thing I learned. You know,
Hmm.
I have to keep learning and keep doing better.
Well, I'm rooting for you, like I said earlier, and like I want you to keep going and focus on the future. And that's all I could say. I'm not here to give you advice, even though I kind of did with the going to Chicago thing. But that's more of something that involves me. So that's more of like a plan.
Yeah, it's more just like something we could go do.
It is advice though too to try out Chicago though before
Would
LA.
you be down to get like an Airbnb with me for a month?
That's the part where I would probably be like a little bit more like I got to think about it because I'm not just gonna throw out thousands of dollars for an Airbnb.
No, I'll buy the Airbnb.
Well, yeah, if we split it, that's different. That's totally a little easier to wrap my head around.
And then we just like, I don't know if I could. I don't know if I'd be ready to make another move, but I would definitely go spend time in
Yeah,
a city for an extended amount of time with somebody that I know.
a month would be great. Yeah, a month is nothing for Chicago to scratch the surface, and it's not too long. Yeah, that'd be fun. We should do
Yeah,
that.
that'd be a really good time. And then maybe I could put the skills that I learn to the real move, you know?
You'll definitely learn something. You'll accumulate contact, all that bullshit that goes with it. You'll network. Yeah, man. We'll plan it out.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That would be sick. But right now I have to do the right things. I have to focus on my relationships, especially at home and with my family, because it's tough, you know. I don't know if you saw that video I put out.
No, what is it?
It's just like a story about my childhood and like how my parents kind of like sold out on me. But that's besides the fact.
Seems like a big thing to get into at this late in the episode. Talk about that to unravel your family issues. I think
Yeah,
sometimes.
that's way too much. I hope, are you gonna edit some of this out?
I mean, I wasn't planning on it. I've never edited this, but if you really want, I could certainly think about editing a little bit of the part that you don't want. Just because you're so young in your career that I don't want you to be doing permanent damage on this podcast, but in such a quick way, such a quick, thing.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the people I talk shit, I just edit out that talking about me relapsing.
Oh, that's the part you want me to. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that seems pretty fine because it's a because that's one of the topics is sobriety. Saying you relapse is not like a thing to be ashamed of on this podcast. It's kind of. But,
yeah, but it's not a good look. Definitely calling that lady
it's
a
not
cunt
that
is
part is way more problematic.
but dude, I honestly don't fucking care. Like, what do you think? I'm gonna go and headline that place after she did that to me?
No, I just no. I have nothing. It just that's the part I would totally be more. I would understand that you don't want in this on the out there.
Yeah.
But who gives a fuck, man? No one really is gonna really. I mean, you never know.
Well, yeah,
It can't
burning
help you. Obviously, that can't help you doing that. There's no. It's cathartic, but that's about it. Like, it's not gonna help you. But I should have said ahead of time that you know I'm probably not gonna edit things out. That's not really the point of this isn't to like edit things out. It's a pretty raw, unfiltered thing.
Yeah.
But I'll let you listen back to it, and you could, we'll see.
You want to stop recording and you want to just talk for a few?
Yeah, I think that was a good place to wrap it up. Now that we're talking about what we're gonna change about the episode in posterity, let's wrap it up. This has been episode 37. In your guest, you want to plug anything really quick? So many listeners. Oh man, you're gonna get so many followers, man.
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at Mike Linehan or on Twitter at Mike_Linehan. But there's no reason to follow me yet. Next on July 8th, you can check me out.
No, you should follow him on Instagram. And this has been episode 37 of the Tim Weichselbaum Show. I will see y'all next week.